Destiny has been changing lives around the globe for over half of a decade now. Many good guardians have been lost, a lot of friends have been made. Normal people have been turned and etched into household names to forever live on in the gaming community. And I want to know where it all has an end. Does Bungie have plans to carry on Destiny into the future? Is the deal between Matter and Bungie going to eventually fizzle out the game we come to know and love? We know about Activision's split with Bungie, but we don't know if there's more in the title of Destiny than meets the eye, or if it could be the fate of one man who carries the torch, and that is Jason Jones. I didn't really want to make a documentary type video, and I almost didn't even make this video to begin with, but for me to explain the thought process and the future of Bungie, it's important that we talk about the paper trail that all started back June of 1991 when Alex Seropian would meet programmer Jason Jones when Jason was working on a video game coincidentally called
Minotaur.
Minotaur, the Labyrinth of Crete was by no means going to put Bungie on the map. They would only go on to sell around 2,500 copies, which isn't bad for a self-published title, but they needed to create something with a little more oomph to let Jason show off his shining skills a little bit harder. And that was when the birth of Destiny, Pathways into Darkness, would be born. This allowed him to show off the open world style gaming with adventure and roleplay, which he actually would go on to win 2 awards for. The reason why I call this the beginning of Destiny is because it looks like Destiny in its infancy. You could actually go up to objects and type specific keywords to pop up some backstory, but this is 1993 at the time. The technology wasn't really there, but it was enough to give them those bigger budget opportunities. After the success of Pathways, in 1994, Jason Jones gets a bigger wallet and is able to create a more Destiny-like, Doom-like actually experience, but it kind of resembles what Destiny would have probably been like had it been back then in 1994. You are nothing but a space officer trying to defend some alien race on your ship. Comes in 1997 though, we got a game called Myth, the final frontier of Bungie's freaking career before we enter over into the 2000s. The Y2K could hit. Is Myth gonna be the final game? No. But it is going to be a success for them that's gonna offer them even more attention to an even bigger company known as Microsoft. And the odd thing about Myth is one of the enemy factions were called Thrall. Another hint from Minotaur in the beginning to Thrall halfway in to the 2000s. Another beginning stretch happens and Halo Combat Evolved is born. Halo created millions of fans around the world and is what put Bungie on the map for us to know today. This is where I actually found out about Bungie. I used to play Halo 1 all the time. But behind the curtains, everything might seem fine and dandy and that Bungie finally found their spot to sit at. But Jones and Seropian would part ways in 2004. Jason Jones would stick behind. The problem with the deal was being able to only work on Halo projects alone means that they can't fulfill any more mechanical evolutions. There's nothing else to do to the Halo engine, and Jones knows this, so after Halo 1, he gives the lead over to somebody else to start working on. He still had a lead visionary in it, the same as he does today. But being as creative as he is to make the video games that he has created for us, you have to understand that he wants to keep going. He doesn't want his creative flow to stop on Halo. He has other ideas. He knows more mechanical options he has. He just needs more money. Microsoft won't give them that money, so they figure out a way to get out. Make 2 more games, you get to become independent. And that's when Jason Jones would find his next loot box in Activision.
We have a deal.
This deal was great. Destiny 1, Jason Jones gets to fulfill the mechanical evolution that he always wanted to. He hires up with Activision, who's worth about $18 billion at the time. They get a $500 million contract. They say, go to town and make the game that you want us to make. Making Halo, what used to be one of the highest budget games at $40 million, now backed by another $100 million for Destiny, so you know he's got them monies to go with.
When Destiny 1 launched, we were all online, the minute that it went live. And I started playing not with people from Bungie, but with people from the community. I accepted every friend request that I got. I never, told anybody that I worked at Bungie, because that would have ruined the, this joy that I was experiencing watching people see this for the first time. And I started saying over voice, like, "Hey guys, come over here! Look at this thing I found!" And if you remember, like the original Xur experience, you'd never seen an exotic before in Destiny, and suddenly there was this creepy guy in the tower that was showing you, this amazing stuff. And the group I was with started to freak out, and like one guy had enough strange coins to actually buy something, and he bought Mask of the Third Man and was running around the tower screaming with it on. And it was just an amazing experience to watch people enjoying this thing that we built. And I don't know, that's my story.
That's when it becomes real for us, right?
Yeah, right, absolutely. That's the only reason we do it.
You can feel the passion in Jason's voice. Coming from a game like Minotaur to now Destiny, he's finally getting to fulfill and see his dreams coming to fruition with that true open world style gameplay where everything is immersive, and he creates this huge community to bond together to share the experience with him. It's the total evolution of gaming to today's date. But being the creative genius that Jones is, creating all these evolutionary and revolutionary games for us, he again knows Destiny will have its limitations just like every other platform before has had its limitations, and he doesn't like working on sequels because his creative flow is always going and it doesn't stop on just one project. So here's where my theory comes in. He needs Activision out of the way. He has enough money now to where they can go solo with it and create that full-on entertainment company that he has. But here's the thing between Microsoft and Activision. He kept Destiny, but he did not keep Halo. That's where things get kind of interesting for me. He could have full-on just left it behind, let Activision take it over, but this is his grandchild. You have Minotaur in the beginning, you have Thrall midway in. Those are just hints that he has those in the back of his mind. His games are always about the dark versus light. He finally has the graphical enhancements to where he can make that true open-world experience that he's always wanted to create. He just needs that next evolution to push it to that level. So what does he do? He leaves Luke Smith in charge with one job: turn Activision off from Bungie, so they'll go away. I'll go in search of the next best evolution, and I'll come back and we'll take over.
What does this moment, what does this day mean to you?
I'll let the Destiny 2 team speak for themselves.
We are ever closer to the gameplay reveal for Destiny 2.
Good luck with
Thanks
that
so much.
bag of garbage you're about to sell to the player base, and that's what Jason Jones knew. He's got to get Activision the hell out. So they continue to work with Activision for several years later, as we all know, and then he makes another deal with a company called Matter. There are a few potential spoilers in here, so if you don't want to keep watching, it's whatever, but Bungie partners with a Chinese gaming company to create new worlds that can support themselves simultaneously. So Bungie is on the path to try to create these massive worlds, such as games like Star Citizen that are about to come out, that have fully functioning immersive worlds that you can drive actually from planet to planet, sort of like No Man's Sky, but in a better way. More massive, more open world, the stuff that Jason Jones loves, all about that open world adventure where everything just kind of works. Before we dive too much into Matter, let's go back to some of the leaks that we've heard that are from reliable sources, so I'm almost going to say that they're probably going to be true. I'm a huge believer that no matter what I read, Bungie has their whole DLCs and everything planned out years in advance almost. And same with this DLC we're going to see next. We're going to see an enemy called the Veil. It's going to have an in-game activity area similar to the Dreaming City, but it looks like it might be on that huge Vex ship that we've seen a hologram of on the Queen's Court. To tie Matter back into all of this, it is confirmed that darkness-based abilities are going to be in this game, but nobody knows how they're going to be changing towards the subclasses or anything. And then we have the massive worlds working simultaneously. We have a new PvE VP type area, more akin to PlanetSide than to the Division. And then Crucible we don't really know about, but we did hear some speculation that Crucible might not even be in D3. We know that's not true, but it could have been a misrepresentation of how it's not going to be in the new game. Because if it's an open world where Guardian versus Guardian everywhere, and versus enemy everywhere, you have open worlds, you choose your faction, you drive to and from places in massive open worlds similar to Star Citizen, which is the future, I believe, with Matter. Matter also has a huge hand in the mobile side of things. They're a very good tech mobile company, which means you combine them with the companion app. That eliminates the need to go to stop at a tower anymore. You can do everything from your mobile phone. It just all makes sense with the paper trail starting from the beginning, how they've made financial transactions through Microsoft, then through Activision, they dump Activision. They're trying to become a total entertainment company. Then they bundle up with Matter. their open worlds, their mobile aspect to it. They're keeping Destiny instead of ditching it with Activision like they ditched Halo with Microsoft. There's just a lot of things that make sense with the future of Destiny, where it might not only be what's in the name of it, but it could also be the destiny of Jason Jones. Knowing what he wants, the passion for the open world, everything becoming truly immersive. The game we know of Destiny right now might not be the same game in the next 2 or 3 years. It could go full-on open world. But then again, I could be wrong. Destiny could fizzle out, and it could go on to another type of Destiny game called something different, but with the same type light and dark. Jason Jones has always made light versus dark type story games since the beginning. And maybe the title of Destiny means more to him than it does to us. Since his very first video games, he's loved the open world aspect, the roleplay, the adventure. He didn't ever have the graphics to fulfill his dreams, so he had to make these financial decisions. And if you follow the trail from the beginning up until now, it just makes sense that Destiny is in fact Jason Jones' destiny. But of course, this is all just me looking online, reading things, and just following it up to date, kind of how the business transactions went, how he was able to grow the company to where it is today, and where the company finally sits as an independent company with matters sitting comfortably at their side. Since the beginning, in 1991, this is really the first time they've had the graphics they needed, and the money they needed, and the right partnerships that they needed to really make what Jason Jones' passion is all about. The adventure, the roleplay, and the experience that every one of us get that seems to be in the making for not only our destiny, but the one destiny of Jason Jones. The summer merch is now out as well, Guardians. If y'all want to support me, the cause, and the channel, I highly appreciate it. Y'all are the sole reason that I can continue doing this, so every little bit counts. Y'all take it easy, Guardians, and I will see y'all next time.
In space.